There we go, that's one down. So right there, that holy flame sigil that popped up, that's essentially what I'm going for, is that every time she moves, she can heal back when she's below 30% hit points. And it, I think has a chance of critical healing. That's 897, last time it was 1300. Okay, Ugume and the other one are down. This is a pretty low hit point boss now, so it's not really the same kind of comparison as I was doing yesterday. I guess I might have boosted my power a little bit by using some better runes or maybe upgrading them. But this was basically the idea, that every time that Shiki attacks, even though she's low, or when she's low hit points, as long as she's below 30%, she'll heal again. And so I was basically able to trade damage with this Kirin, this boss, and survive even a match where like everyone was dead except for Zashiki up until I think only 6,000 or 7,000 hit points of the boss. So I guess it's also based on a bit of the luck of the draw to see whether or not like these guys don't get frozen and get more damage in, because at this point these other characters are weak enough that they are taking quite a little damage. That was a nice freeze on the that assist attack. Yeah, I'm just gonna use normal attacks and see if I can do this this auto thing with Zashiki again. I have to go, but my last advice, Onmyoji is really a game to play in co-op. You can do everything in co-op, even hard mode explore. Everything is cheaper in co-op, gives you more experience, is faster. That's true. There's definitely like an experience bonus you get for cooperating. And then there's also increased experience in gold, etc. if you're teamed up with somebody that you're friends with, that you've gained enough rapport with, that you are actually upgraded to like a buddy status. Thank you so much for dropping by, Hot Fizz. Thank you for your chat and the feedback, your advice. I'm definitely going to look into getting those grade 4 dioramas instead of buying more souls. So that's some really, really helpful advice. I think it's easy to make mistakes in this game, but at the end of the day, like I think what's really great is like there's enough in this game to do that it seems really fun and really compelling to keep doing. Like even grinding, like I think is not boring because it's just beautiful. I love the music, and it's really fun like seeing the effects go off. I guess I'll see you in the game, and we'll have the opportunity to partner up sometimes. Okay, my team is doing too well. Even though if you have died already, like this is better than expected for not actually using the abilities. Alright, there you go. Everyone's dead except for Zashiki and one Ugume, which is dead now. Okay, so now I'm just gonna switch it to auto, and you can see she's gonna trade damage. There's 9,000 hit points with this Kirin right now, but she's gonna heal every time and just trade. And right now at this level and with this amount of defense, this Kirin cannot really kill this Zashiki unless I guess there's like a chain of lucky crits or something like that. But you saw like the Kirin was at 9,000 hit points, almost completely full, and so, you know, without the rest of the minions, she could basically solo. And that's like a really cool concept. This is something that, you know, other games, like, if they don't have that kind of cleverness to have this type of rune or soul combination, or a character that has it as a skill, it would be really difficult to pull off something like this. But it's cool that it can happen, and that you can specifically design your build around it. If I simply went with extra hit points like everybody recommends you do for Zashiki, just so that she's got more buffer, every time she uses her ability to generate orbs, she would consume even more hit points. So that's more hit points that she needs to heal from your other teammates if you've got a healer, and less survivability in the end, because that those hit points are not kind of offset by armor, the defense. So right now, like I'm demonstrating, like, you know, because every time she's below that amount, that threshold of health, it guarantees that she heals back. That 897 that she healed, the Kirin needs to do a lot more damage to counteract. This is the Holy Flame set with 2 defense souls. You can see every time the Holy Flame is popping up. So there, she's doing 9,000 hit points of damage by herself, and she's like healing herself through this whole thing passively. And so I'm excited to actually get this concept even higher up, like to get better Holy Flame runes and to upgrade them. I might have some decent runes on her right now, some level 4s, I think. And as far as I can tell, if your units die in battle, you don't have any sort of penalty. As long as you win the battle, everyone gets like the experience. So that's really cool. I'll just show Zashiki right now. So you say Holy Flame. If I wanted to double down on this, instead of attack power, I would get more... Well, okay, this slot there's a fixed stat of attack, but underneath these black bonuses in black text, these ones are random. So there's a chance that I could get an attack one, but that it also has defense or speed or hit points in a percentage. This one is double hit point bonus in percentage, but it's only a 2 set. Let's see if I have a better one for that. Looking for Holy Flame. In this slot, I have 78 runes apparently, souls. So this one has 4% hit point bonus, which is 1% more, plus crit chance. Attack bonus. See, I've sorted by crit right now. Let's sort it by defense. There's no defense on any of them. Actually, I have defense bonus. So there's a 4% defense bonus here. And so the hit point, 1773, turns into 1631, but I get more defense. Oh, this one actually has speed and effect hit, but effect hit is not useful for this character. It does nothing, essentially. The speed might be nice. So it's the same defense bonus, so let's switch it out. This one is less, it's a lower level, but it was effect resistance and crit damage. This one has hit points and hit point bonus as a percentage. Oh, this one has both of those. It has hit point and defense. So it is a 3-star though, so it's not maybe as valuable as upgrading this 4. But see, it would be interesting to have my defense higher up. Another 4%. One's a hit point bonus. Isn't it better to stack as much hit point as you can instead of either defense? Well, here's a concept. If you have 1,000 hit points and your armor is 0, right? Yeah, your hit point back is depending on your hit points too. But here's this idea. If you have 1,000 hit points, let's look at her stats right now. Let's just say, okay, like not using these numbers because it would be confusing math, but let's say she had 1,000 hit points and 0 defense. That means that enemy needs to do 1,000 damage to kill her. When she gets below 30% health, she will heal. Let's see. She will restore 15%, so she'll heal back 150 hit points, right? And then the enemy needs to deal 150 hit points in order to like negate that or to kill her. So the idea is that if I added more hit points, if I, let's say, doubled her hit points to 2,000, then the proportions would be the same, right? To kill her, you need to do 2,000 hit points of damage, but in order to... or her regen will be 300 hit points. Now, if you increase defense, though, on the other hand, and let's say the enemy is doing a lot of smaller attacks where defense negates, let's say, 50% of the damage that's incoming. So if I'm doing, or sorry, if each attack, let's say, does 100 damage, but 50 defense negates half of it, then you can see it doubles the amount of effective hit points you heal back. Because if every enemy attack is being halved by 50%, let's say, if she's got only 1,000 hit points and she heals back 150, instead of doing 150 damage to remove that heal that she just did, or to kill her, they need to do 300 points of damage before to cut through that defense. So the concept is that, yes, adding hit point tank is effective for her in many ways, but the more defense you have, it makes each hit point that she heals that much more powerful. And so my idea is that, like, when she gets low on health, it will be easier to see her managing that hit points. Like, her hit point fluctuation won't be nearly as drastic as someone with very low defense, because every hit will be hitting really hard. But when you have high defense, then it will take more attacks to whittle her down past that threshold into that 30% danger zone, where she starts to regenerate using these souls, or when your teammates can heal her. So having a really tanky healer in that regard makes sense. And she's already a A-class hit point spirit. So she gets a lot of hit points from just leveling up. So her base hit points are already good, and percentage based off will buff it. So obviously the priority would probably be to have, for me, static defense, not percentage based, because 183 is not, well, it is good, but it's not like a massive number. Static might contribute more theoretically, because, you know, a static defense rune might be, let's say, 6 plus 2 defense, that's 8, and that would be 8%, maybe 12 or 13% defense required in order to get the same amount. The static souls, static defense souls might be better at this moment. So I could see if I have a Dawn Fairy in that slot. Oh, see, this one has 6% defense bonus. So I have 74 defense now. 1477 and 74. So she went down in hit points, but my defense went up from 74 to 82, and I like that. I like that a lot. So, let's see what I can feed to her in order to level her up. See, I know as a concept, I don't want attack bonuses on Holy Flame, because I want to stack up on either hit point bonuses or defense. So I can consume the ones that are not that great. This one only has 1 black stat, and this one has 2. See, this is defense bonus 4% plus attack. But see, I'd rather have defense plus defense. I'll consume that one too. Let's see, I've got a lot of these. Double stat, single stat. But that's attack bonus and attack bonus in percentage, which could be nice. Okay, so these are defense bonus, which is again maybe potentially good conceptually on a Nightwing build. Any sorts of healing that like is tougher to remove gives you more effective hit points. And if you want to read more about that, look up that concept, effective hit points. In any sort of MMO or RPG where you have items like this and healing, this becomes a factor. You know, a 1,000 point heal effectively becomes 1,500 hit points worth of defense for your character when you have defense or armor. Whereas if you had 0 armor, that 1,000 point heal coming from your other character is still only worth 1,000 hit points. Okay, that one I can get rid of. This mixed one I could get rid of. That one. That one has speed, so I'll try to keep it. Alright. So I can level up to level 2, and that goes from 6 to 10%. Let's see if I can just get a little bit more so I can get one more level.